Hi, I'm Eugene Sakai with Studio S Squared Architecture. In today's video, I'd like to share with you some thoughts and a few case studies on the topic of whether to remodel or tear down. Let's get started. Our firm has its roots in residential remodels and additions, and we specialized in these smaller projects for many years. So this is a project type that is near and dear to our heart. Remodel additions can be the right choice for the following reasons. Remodels can be more cost-effective than building new if the existing house is in good condition and only minor structural changes to the existing building are contemplated. When exterior and interior finishes are in good shape and work aesthetically with the new design, it can make more sense to remodel versus tear down. Reuse of existing on-site resources is much more green than building all new and tearing down and dumping the old home into a landfill. If your existing home was legally built within current front or side yards or fails to meet current parking requirements, it could be beneficial to remodel in order to maintain its grandfathered status. A carefully designed remodel can potentially avoid expensive structural and energy code upgrades requiring a more robust structure and more energy efficiency. Most remodels will also not trigger fire sprinklers. A rule of thumb we use is that remodels make sense when you are going out instead of up and not having to reconfigure the existing structure to any large extent. Many architects and builders strongly prefer to work on new construction and avoid remodels altogether. This is not purely in our self-interest, as there are many points in favor of new construction. If you are changing the existing roofline, removing exterior or interior bearing walls, raising ceiling height, enlarging or relocating windows and exterior doors, these will be very impactful to the existing structure and will erode your savings due to added labor costs. It might make more sense to do a complete teardown or a partial teardown to the existing foundation. Foundation and framing comprise about 30 to 35% of the cost of a typical brand new home. In a remodel, when the added labor of retrofitting is factored in, a major gut job renovation with all new finishes and systems may only be 5 to 15% less expensive than tearing down and building all new. In a new home, the age of the house resets to 0 upon completion, which will typically yield higher resale value if you sell within 10 years. More design flexibility and better site utilization. A new home can be designed to maximize private rear yard areas by eliminating wasted space on the sides and front. This is very difficult to do in a remodel scenario. Contrary to what some may think, today's homes are built to a much higher quality of construction, engineering, and energy efficiency standard. A new house must fully comply with today's structural and energy codes, which are much more stringent than older codes. In California, property tax impacts of like-new major remodels are often the same as if you start from scratch. Contact your county assessor's office to find out more about this. Let's look at several case studies involving projects our firm has designed. A ground-level addition with only minor changes to the existing house is definitely a candidate for a remodel. On this project in San Jose, we designed a rear master suite addition and kitchen remodel that had minimal impacts on the existing house. This type of project is a no-brainer for a remodel. Our design for this whole house renovation in San Carlos completely changed the floor plan and style of the house and triggered major structural changes. Normally a project of this magnitude would be a better teardown than remodel. But because the original house was built at a time when the zoning standards for the city were more relaxed than they are now, the side walls were legal non-conforming with current side setbacks, and the garage was smaller than what is currently required. In this case, a new house would have required a narrower floor plan with a much wider two-car garage, likely driving a two-story design, which the owners did not want. So even though a new build would have been easier to design and likely less expensive to build, for design reasons, a remodel was the only choice that made sense for our clients. Filling in the L of a post-war ranch-style tract home is a common request amongst homeowners. This house required reorienting the garage door to face the street, which in turn allowed for separate pedestrian and auto zones in the front yard. The former driveway was thereby freed up for a large front expansion that brought the house closer to the street. The challenge of this design was more budgetary than architectural, as the existing roofs needed to be completely removed in order to facilitate a roof design that was both aesthetically pleasing and drains properly. Though we took advantage of this roof removal to create higher ceilings throughout the home, the cost per square foot of this project was much higher than a simpler remodel. This type of whole house remodel plus addition can begin to approach the cost of a comparable new build. Our design for the 1,600 square foot second story addition to an existing 2,700 square foot one-story ranch style home in beautiful Menlo Park accomplished four major goals. First, we enhanced the curb appeal from the street and gave the client the craftsman look they wanted. Second, we allowed the new second floor master suite to take advantage of the site's big views to the back. Third, we improved access to their steeply sloping backyard by means of a multi-level deck with landscape terraces. And finally, we increased ceiling heights in the area under the new addition while adding 2 bedrooms and a home office. In many cases, a major second floor addition plus whole house remodel such as this can be just as, if not more expensive, than building the same design as an all-new house. In this case, the remodel plus addition approach was more cost-effective for the following reasons. First, the existing foundation was in good condition. Second, the sloping site would have made demolition and building a new foundation very costly. And finally, the size of the existing building's footprint was over twice the size of the vertical addition. This meant only about 50% of the existing foundation needed reinforcement to support the new second floor. If this figure begins to approach 100%, it usually makes more sense to build all new. It's difficult to ascertain exactly how much was saved by retaining the existing foundation and portions of the exterior wall framing, but based on comparable projects, about $50 per square foot, or, in this case, over $200,000 is a reasonable guesstimate. On this single-story addition plus whole house remodel in Menlo Oaks, our design called for a 1,700 square foot rear addition to an existing 2,100 square foot single-story home, as well as a complete stylistic makeover of the ranch-style building, featuring a new roofline and floor plan. Though our design called for saving a few hundred linear feet of existing walls, the builder elected to remove all wall framing down to the existing floor framing and provided all new walls at no extra charge to the owners. According to the builder, the labor savings of not having to work with the 50-plus-year-old stud walls more than offset the cost of the all-new wall material. The builder also said that retaining the existing foundation and floor framing only saved our clients $60,000 to $70,000 compared to the cost of a brand new home. Since our clients viewed this as their dream home and had no plans to sell, the cost savings was worth it to them, and reusing the older foundation was in full alignment with their green philosophy. When we designed a new office for ourselves in 2014, our intention was also to be green and save a little money by adding onto and renovating an existing single-family home. Unfortunately, those remodel plans went awry in the first month of construction, when our builder told us that the existing walls and floor framing were badly damaged by termites, and the foundation was cracked in 10 places. Fortunately, our builder only charged us $20,000 extra for an all-new foundation and new structural framing, and after a 2-month permit delay and 14 months of construction, we got a brand new building out of it. On the flip side, had we known up front that a remodel made no sense, we would have designed a much different multi-level mixed-use project with higher and better use of the land. When we designed the second-story addition in Saratoga, we were able to avoid the lengthy design review process that all new 2-story Saratoga homes must go through. Unfortunately, during construction, the builder discovered that the existing foundation was badly cracked in several locations, and after consulting the engineering team, it was soon decided to revise the building permit to reflect a new foundation and go through what we thought would be a fairly straightforward design review process taking about 2 months, as the project had already been vetted by the neighbors and approved by Saratoga Planning. Little did we know that the neighbors would take advantage of the public noticing and hearing requirements to collectively vent to the city their frustrations over construction noise and disruptions and force a 12-month delay with 3 public hearings and multiple design revisions to the roofline, windows, and landscaping. In hindsight, relying on a 50-plus-year-old foundation to save a few months of design review was a bad recommendation on our design team's part. An older foundation like this one requires major reinforcement and underpinning to support the load of a new second floor.
Had we simply called for an all-new house from the outset, we could have saved our clients a lot of stress and at least 9 months of dealing with unhappy neighbors in a very contentious process.
Thank you for watching our video on whether to remodel or tear down. For more videos like this, please go to our YouTube channel or our website. Thank you and have a great day.